We're going to look at Matthew 4, but before we turn there, I'm just going to flip over to one of the more famous Psalms. In Psalm 23, in the end of the last verse of the Psalm, he says, "Surely your goodness," this is David, "surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." And as this morning, as I was studying kind of finishing up my studies for today, this kind of popped into my head. And a few weeks ago, we did a one-off teaching about regret using David's life in Psalm 51 and the different things that he did, that he sinned, ways that he sinned, and ways that God worked in his life. And it's the same David that makes this proclamation, "Surely your goodness and your love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." And I think that sometimes, if you're like me, you could think, surely God's goodness won't follow me. Surely I've done too much. Surely I've not lived up to his expectations. Surely I've let him down. Surely there's no way. And I think we can take comfort if David, inspired by the Holy Spirit, can say, no, God's goodness is going to follow me all the days of my life. I think we can probably all claim that one, huh? We're in good company with David. But be encouraged today. Your life might suck. It just is. You know, there's a guy named Jocko, I think it's Willikin or Wilkins. What is it? Willikin? There's a K in there somewhere. Willick. So he's got a podcast, which I don't listen to that too much, but he was a Navy SEAL, served a bunch of tours as a basically an officer in a Navy SEAL. He oversaw a bunch of SEALs. And while he was in command, they had a pretty substantial fratricide. That it was blue on blue. So his soldiers killed a bunch of Iraqi IDF soldiers, or not IDF, but whatever. I can't remember the acronym for them. But Iraqis that were fighting with the Americans, and by accident, his soldiers killed a bunch of Iraqis that were fighting with Americans. And so he has gone on to kind of do some speeches and stuff like that. And his big thing is just personal accountability. You know, be accountable for your part in things. But he does this he goes and visits some soldiers at one point, and one of the guys recorded it on their phone, and they put it up. And one of the things that Jocko kind of went on about, I don't know if that's his real name. I want to believe it is, and he lived up to it, but I feel like it's a nickname. I don't know. But one of the talks that he gives to these soldiers is he does this whole talk, and he says, "I love when things suck." Because I love it. I love cold showers. I love being dirty on the ground. He goes, because every time that something sucks, it can make you better. And there's a little patch I bought, and just because it reminded me of it, and it just says, "Embrace the suck." And I love that. Because I think a lot of times we go through really, genuinely hard stuff. And sometimes we cause it, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes someone else causes it, and sometimes the Lord allows it. And really it kind of comes down as Christians, will we embrace it? Because just because things suck, it does not mean that his goodness is not following you. It does not mean that his mercy is not upon you. It means that you have an opportunity to let it shine brighter than it normally would. And so I just, I don't know who that's for, but I think I was supposed to share that. I know I was. The Holy Spirit things make me nervous. I'm going to be honest. I'm a pretty conservative person. But I encourage you, embrace the suck and let the Lord work in it. Invite him into it. Here it is. I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it. I wish it wasn't. But Lord, I know you can do something. And his promise to every individual is that he will work, every individual that is walking with him. It says that God works all things together for good, for those that love him and are called according to his purpose. So there's not something that's bad enough that God can't work it out for something good. It just kind of boils down to, will we let it happen? But the Lord loves you, and he's doing great things for you.